What's up, micro pigs? Tommy Post here, back again. Today we're going to talk a little bit about sloppy shifter bushings. I don't know if you know that there are bushings down at the bottom of your shifter base. Now we're talking about first gen Kia Sportage with manual transmission. If your stick shift kind of flops side to side and you can't get it into gear, likely your shifter bushings are shot. I've already gotten mine taken apart here, but I will try to complete this video showing how to put everything back together, so basically you'll know how to pull it apart. But once you get your center console off, it's gonna kind of look like this right here. So you've got your boot that goes over this. It's basically rubber, that way nothing from underneath the car gets inside the car. And what we're looking at is this right here. So back here is the transfer case. This shift fork right here. This is the little guy that changes the gears in your car. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and reverse. So inside of here is where your shifter. Now I've already taken the shifter off. It's this thing right here. And that slides right inside of here so that when you bolt the base here, the geometry of the ball fit pushes that fork forward, pulls it backwards, and so on. So you see all this green stuff here? This is the remnants of a 3D printed bushing that I had tried. Worked great for a couple of days, but then pretty much just fell apart. So we're going to be replacing them with bronze bushings. Metal is far stronger, but you still have to use a soft metal, one that's not going to corrode, and bronze is a very good choice. So I'm going to keep this video segment short and sweet. Once you get it taken apart and down to this point, you're going to want to clean the inside of this fork, because basically there's a pin that slides all the way through it, and then your shifter base goes right inside of here. So you'll want to take a file and lightly file that flat, because it is my understanding that the bronze bushings are going to be a nice tight snug fit, and you don't want to have any interference issues when you go to slide it in place and then get your pin back through it. So we'll see what we have, and we'll take it from here. All right, so let's get right into it. I've already got the shifter removed. Later in this video I'm gonna take everybody through the process of putting this back in the car. I didn't take a video of it being taken apart. Kind of got the idea at the last minute to go ahead and document this thing. But anyhow, this is what your shifter is going to look like once it's pulled up and out of there. The idea is that right inside of here, these holes, there's a plastic or nylon or some sort of a synthetic material bushing that goes in there, and then there's a pin that goes on the inside of the bushing. So the bushing is meant to close up some of the clearance between the sizes, and it should have a nice, smooth, tight shift pattern. But as those little plastic bushings wear away, they fall out, and then all of a sudden the pin that goes through the center of it is clearly much smaller than the hole that passes through the shifter itself here, this round part on the bottom. I don't know the right name to call it, but whatever. Because it's small, then what you get is geometrically a lot of this. So you'll see that the pin has the ability to move around like this, which affects your shift pattern up above. So it makes it real sloppy and floppy, which is why everybody's here in the first place. We know the symptoms, and I probably already said it in the intro video, but so what we're working with today is going to be a brass replacement bushing. Looks like this. Look like little top hats. Now you can see that the hole in the center is clearly smaller than the diameter here, which would be, I'll call this the outer diameter, which fits inside the hole in the shifter. So the idea is to put this one on each side, slide them in, and then we're going to put the whole assembly down into the fork that it fits, and then the pin will go through the center, hold everything secure in place, and should solve the problem. So these are made of bronze. It's a softer metal than steel, and they also will not corrode. So it's a good metal choice. Any soft metal should work. These things don't take a lot of beating, but I've already found out the hard way that at least some 3D printed models do not work well. Mine just simply disintegrated after no more than 100 miles put on the car. So now we're going to the tougher version, which is brass. So let's put one in. Oh wait, we can't put them in. All right, so this was actually warned ahead of time by the gentleman that I got these from, that they are a tight fit to go inside of here. Now, according to his word, they're not necessarily an interference fit, but more of a zero fit. So that means that any imperfection on either this outer edge or the bushing itself will prevent it from just sliding into place. He ended up using, I think, a bench vise to squeeze them into place. I have a press. Either way, they're going in, but I'm going to try something first, which is to take some aggressive Scotch-Brite, a little bit of lubricant, and I'm going to try to clean those surfaces just to see how close it's going to be, and then we'll see if they slide in then. Stay tuned. I've got the brass bushings into the shifter base. All right, it was not easy, not even slightly. So the gentleman that I bought them from, and I will give you his information on how to contact him at the end of this video, he said they'd be tight, and he wasn't lying. I didn't happen to have any sandpaper, but it's really important that you clean the inside of the shifter base before you try to put the bushings in place. So I actually had some pretty aggressive Scotch-Brite pads, cleaned them the best I could possibly do it with what I had, and they were still a tight fit. If it were me and I were making these bushings, I would probably reduce the OD of the bushing, which would fit the ID of the shifter, by about a half a mil. I think I would bring it down just a hair so that there's less struggle putting them in. But anyway, it is what it is, and it's still an excellent product as long as it fits inside of the shift fork. We'll find that out later. So anyhow, here's the nuances of it. I was not able to get this thing into my vise because I'm still in the middle of unpacking and I don't have everything cleared out. Couldn't find all my blocks and all that stuff. So with this base in place, trying to get this into the vise to push those in was not really that great of a prospect. So I did the old-fashioned way. I took a 3/8 extension for a socket, put it into a deep well socket that matched the size of this bushing hat, and just basically lubed the crap out of both and slowly started to drive it into place. Now it went really well, but you got to make sure they are fully seated all the way around here. So the last thing is going to be the pin test. All right, so you got to take your pin that goes through here and you've got to clean that extremely well. So we're talking about the same Scotch-Brite lubricant, and keep doing it until it slides through. Mine never did. It was very tight. So comes the Scotch-Brite on a drill, and what you can do, of course I wasn't really planning to show this, but use your pin as your guide, because if you've got a body lift, honestly, it's going to be very difficult to try to push that pin through there if there's a bunch of resistance. Now, it shouldn't be sloppy. That's the whole point of having the bushings. But if you can see this, I just took a piece of Scotch-Brite, locked it into the chuck of my drill, start to spin it like a little corkscrew, and move it in and out of that bushing a little bit, just to kind of clean her up a little bit. And then once you've done that enough times, you'll be able to look inside the hole and you'll see it's nice and polished in there. Scotch-Brite's not going to take any material off that's significant, but it will deburr the entire pathway through. Clean pin, I don't have lubricant on it, but the point is you should be able to slide it right on through with your fingers before you try to put it in the car. That's where we're at right now. It's a little too hot this morning to carry on, so I'll probably be wearing some different clothes when I finish up this video, but I'll catch you guys later. And we are back. So now we've got our bronze bushings inside of our shifter base here, and we know where it goes, which is down here. So let's show you how this is gonna go. This is gonna be a little torturous. I'm not gonna bother cleaning out all that crap. I did clean out the inside of the shift fork, so I'm hoping this is gonna just slide right into place. Now here's the deal. This little pin has also been cleaned, but it is going to take some manner of lubricant. So I'm gonna just use WD-40 gel lube. It's really just kind of a thicker spray-on lube. I don't expect it to last long. It'll probably wear off real fast, but this is just to get the pin in place. We'll worry about getting it back out on a later date. Okay. And let's see if I can get it inside the fork. Now it's a real chore to try to work inside of here. All right, let me see if I can. I don't have a single clean spot in my car, but that's to be expected. All right, let's see. Does it fit? It does fit. So now I just need to see about getting the pin to go through. So let's take Mr. Lubricated pin, push it in through the side of the fork, and line it up with bushing base. Come on, baby, go in there. Little jiggle, jiggle side to side, and almost there. Now, this is kind of what I thought, is I may have to encourage it a little bit. So we're gonna just take this pair of channel locks, put it on the tip of one side, and just kind of squeeze it against the fork and give it a little push. There we go. Something like that. And then we gotta just kind of tap it into place so that the little, yeah, almost there. And I don't know if I said this before, but if you've got a body lift, you can already count on this being harder for you. So, all right, now let's see. Let's grab these little clips right here. These are kind of neat little things. It's got a little spring metal here, and then it slips into place, and those two little dogs, or whatever you want to call them, the little prongy thingies, are gonna just lock it into place. So let's start with the side that we just inserted from. Push it in and come on, babe, there it goes. So now we've got to pray we can get it to work on the other side. Turn that, and come on, baby. All right, so this is kind of what I was afraid of. So I'm gonna have to encourage my pin to go in just a bit more. And maybe that was enough. And we push this one in right there. All right, so we make sure they're both seated. Yeah, this is what we call a hammer pliers, a hammer channel lock. And yes, I'm using my ghetto tools today. Most of my other tools are in my big toolbox, and they travel with me. A little tappy tappy here just to make sure that I'm happy with it. Okay, now we can take the base, start to work it into place. Start with one bolt here, get it hot bolted, get another one in this upper corner, push her into place, finger it in the next one. It is literally hotter than the hubs of hell. I keep moving further up north in the beautiful state of Florida, but can't seem to dodge that summertime heat. All right, I'm gonna stop right here for now. I'm gonna save you guys the pain of watching me put those bolts down in there with my ratchet. So, Oh yeah, you see it. But that's pretty much the idea. Once you get those bushings, the hardest part so far for me is really just getting the bushings inside the base of the shifter, that little round thingy. There's a proper name. If you know what the proper name is, just leave it in the comments for me so I don't keep saying little round thingy. But getting the bronze bushings inside of that is the hardest part. You're gonna have to work a little bit to get them in, but they will go. And the other thing too, test fit your through pin before you commit to trying to put it into that fork, because if that pin does not want to go through, there is not much room to work with when the bolting base, the fulcrum, maybe that's what they call it, that's all attached to your shifter handle, so there's not much room to work on it. So that's it for this particular episode, and I'll circle back when it's time to put it together. All right, guys, so everybody stuck around till the very end. Car's back together. Took it for a drive. Shifts perfectly. The gate, whatever you want to call it, I believe they call it the gate. The feel of the gate is so much better going gear to gear. Things are tight now. Hey, Piggy, I'm doing something. Anyway, just wanted to let you guys know that it was definitely a successful installation. The product is fantastic. I mean, I think I should have probably done that in the first place, because let's face it, a lot of pressure happens inside where those two shifter pieces interface, and having a bronze bushing or bushing set is going to be far better. So how to get it? Please go to Facebook. On Facebook, look up Micro Pig Off-Road Club and you will find it. It's a group that's basically dedicated to Kia Sportage, primarily first gen, but we are open to having all different micro style machines come. Just that it seems to be mostly Kia. But you want to search up the name Ryan Niedermeyer. Ryan Niedermeyer. If I tried to spell the last name, I'd probably screw it up by at least one letter. Neidermier, something like that. But in either case, all you have to do is make your very first post saying, I need shifter bushings. Ryan can hook you up. You're looking at about $25 for a set of them, which is really a great price when you think about the long-term effects. And I doubt you'll ever have to replace them again. So it's worth the trouble to go in and do it. So $25 will be for the product, and that'll also include shipping as long as it's in the lower 48 domestically here in the United States. He's probably open to sending something out over the pond, but you would have to talk to him about where you're located, and just maybe he'll hook you up. So thanks for sticking around. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe. Actually, it doesn't do a thing for me because I have a job, but I think it's just kind of cool to see how the community has grown. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.